Hello, everybody. Hello. My name is Grada Berishit, and I'm dating and relationship coach for women. And today's topic is why high-value women never chase love, we actually attract it. Okay, so whoever is joining in, hello, wherever you're coming from. Where are you girls coming from? Please let me know. Are you from UK, USA, Europe? Where are you coming from? Where are you joining from? I'm doing a live. Oh, hey Ezra, I think I recognize you. I'm doing a live from UK, from south of UK. I used to live in London before for a very long time. So actually my dating life was in London. This is why my posts are very, I would say, like applicable for nearly everybody. Today's topic is why high-value women never chase love. We attract it, and I'll dive into the topic like in a minute. Oh, are you from south of UK too? That's so cool. Where are you ladies joining from? I'll just post the topic here. And feel free to ask me any questions. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'm here to answer your questions, okay? So if you describe Brighton, oh, you're from Brighton. I've been to Brighton so many times. If you describe, the way to ask me a question to get the best advice is if you, describe your situation in like a screenshot format. I'll read it out loud and I'll answer your question on a live, okay? So this would be like the best way to describe your question. So let's talk about why high-value women never chase men. They attract it. So I would say as women, not just high-value women, as women, we attract all kinds of guys. We attract good guys, bad guys, players, pickup artists, nice guys, sweet guys, high value men, all kinds of men, right? And some men, they disappear from us. Other men, they stick around. So and then from those guys that stick around, we pick the ones that we like. Right now, why do we pick those guys that we like? We pick them because we relate to them. So a lot of times, if you're picking from all your options a pickup artist, is because you're relating to him. Maybe you had some similar trauma as him, maybe you had some similar background as him, and you're relating to him. So it's not because you're attracting only, let's say, toxic guys, you're only attractive pickup artists. No, it's not that. It's more because you relate to them. Or sometimes it's not because you relate to them. Actually, sometimes it's because you don't relate to them. Sometimes it's because you're very intrigued by them. Sometimes it's because they give you mystery, they give you unknown, they give you drama, they give you games, and you've never experienced that, so you're very intrigued by it. So he kind of lures you in with the temptation. And what do toxic guys know the best? They know the best. They are expert on how to lure a woman in by tempting her, right? So he might touch you in the right place where you feel like, ooh, this is nice, right? Why does he touch you in that place? Because he wants you to get familiar with his touch, right? Why does he kiss you the way he kisses you? To lure you in, to make you enjoy it. So he lures you in. Why some guys on the first few days, we kind of victimize themselves a little bit and talk about their traumas to lure nice girls in. Because a woman that has a soft, kind heart, when you share with her your traumas, she wants to help you. She wants to sort your life out, right? Because a lot of women are kind. We are nice, So when the guy is coming to you and he's like, oh, this happened to me and this happened to me and that happened to me, right? A lot of women go like, oh, poor guy, I need to help him, I need to sort out his problems, and then he'll like me so much, right? And when you start to invest, you start to give, overgive, he touches you here and there, he's sweet and kind, and then you get addicted to somebody that has a lot of traumas. And then what happens later? Usually later on, we don't take any of your advice, or we keep saying, I'm not ready for a relationship, I have commitment issues, etc., etc. And then, you get nowhere. You basically waste your time with these guys. So we attract all kinds of men. It's more that when we ignore the red flags, that's when we end up like sticking to the guys that are not good for us. So it's more about, it's really about when you have guys pursuing you, especially when you're younger, you usually have a lot of guys pursuing you, right? Don't just, sometimes the bad boys, they're usually really charming because we have more experience, we're a bit more confident, we have more experience. So a lot of times, initially, majority of women will kind of lean towards the bad guys because we have experience and we are charming, right? So you're like, oh, what a nice guy, right? But I would say when you have a lot of guys pursuing you, take your time with each guy. Just take your time. Keep them as friends and enjoy and watch their actions. And a lot of times you will see that those bad guys, they have nothing to offer. We just talk nice. We just know how to touch you. We just know how to give you the temptation, but we have nothing else to offer. We just talk. And when we see that we can't have you, we keep chasing without offering anything. And once you once you keep all your options open, you will start to see like, oh, this nice guy that I didn't pay attention to, he actually picks me up. He actually opens the car doors for me. He actually checks in on me. Am I doing okay? Am I cold? Do I want anything? He actually is the one that cares. And this is how you pick the guy, by keeping your options open, by not getting hooked, by not picking a guy straight away, and just by watching their actions for a long period of time. That's how you're not gonna be. This is how you're not gonna be the one saying like, oh, why do I always attract bad guys? You're gonna be like, no, why do I always attract good guys? Because you're picking the good guys. So I had this. I was actually reflecting on something today. I was thinking like, I'm in this kind of group, and there's quite a few guys and quite a few girls, right? And there are a few guys that are being a bit taken for granted, right? And today, one of the guys, like, he picked me up. Basically, he's just a nice guy. He's not a potential, he's more like a friend, but as a man I was kind of observing his actions, right? So he's a friend, he's much young, like everything about him is a friend, right? And but I was kind of looking at him and looking at how the other girls see him, and I'm a bit more mature, the people I know, they are a little bit more immature. And I can see that these other girls are really taking him for granted. And I'm like, by observing all the guys in the group, I can see that it's this guy that's probably one of the best catch in the whole group. Because what did he do? When he picked me up, he made sure, first of all, he offered to give me a lift. Second, he came on time. Third, he opened the car doors Fourth, we had an amazing conversation. He's smart, he has goals, he has vision, he goes to the gym. He's like, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? I'll walk you here. Like, he literally ticked every single box, right? And from that group, I can see that the girls are like either looking at his height, or maybe they don't like, I don't know, the color of the skin, or what, like looking at really shallow things, you know. And then there's some other guys who are charming and we don't really offer anything. We're just playing games, you know. And as a more mature woman in, let's say, this group, I can see these things and I can see who is a catch, who is not. And it's so different from how more immature girls see things, how more immature girls see guys. You know, it's so different. And it's kind of like, sometimes I kind of look at things and I'm like, ladies, don't close your eyes on good man, because we're not gonna be there forever. You know, when you're in your 20s, there's a lot of good guys pursuing you and you close your eyes. When you're in your 30s, you literally have a lot of times only bad boys left, because all the good guys now are married. You know, when you're in the 40s, you're dealing with baggage after baggage, trauma after trauma. I want you, I don't want you, the mixed signal this, mixed signal that, or somebody that is ready for a relationship, but the whole time just was, their whole life were just playing games, has no idea how to have a relationship, you know. So it's like the good, decent guys are usually in their 20s majority of the time. So like, but you kind of have to have the skills to appreciate it and to pick the right guy. Yeah, over 40s is like, I'm 42. Over 40s is there's a lot of options. You know, some girls say like there's not many options. It depends where you are at. Like, I'm in UK, there is a lot of options. If you want options, there is a lot of options. However, imagine if somebody's like, let's say, over 40 and has been a player their whole life. Like, what type of option is this, you know? Like, a lot of guys actually, I dated a few guys that were 50 years old, and they had no idea how to be with a woman. They literally had no idea how to be with a woman. And I remember I went on a few dates with this guy. He was insanely successful, but he was like, he didn't know how to behave at all. Single, never married, no kids, very, very successful, had no idea how to behave. And of course I lost interest, right? I was like, I'm not interested. Then he got into a relationship and something happened that they broke up, and he came after me again. And the way he was approaching me after the relationship, it was very different. And I was like, wow, so you're 50 years old and your previous relationship was probably the first relationship you had with a woman, because now you're behaving with me like a totally different person. You know, so it's really, it's a lot of mess out there. You need to know how to maneuver. And you need to, I think what's the most important is, in general, not to get your heart hurt. When you're high value, you don't really get hurt because you're wise when you're dating. So you see the red flags, you don't get involved where you shouldn't get involved, because the manipulators and the liars can't play you. They kind of keep coming after you because it's interesting for them. It's like, we can have anyone we want, but we can't have you. So they kind of keep coming after you, always coming with different strategies, trying to win your heart, right? But if you know the high value stuff, it's quite easy to protect yourself. And at the same time, as the way you protect yourself is very gentle and feminine. It's not aggressive, it's not rude. It's your boundaries are more like I would even say a bit of passive aggressive boundaries. But ladies, the thing is with passive aggressive boundaries, the reason we work is because in some countries, like I live in UK, passive aggressive unfortunately is the way to go. If you're too aggressive, it's you're lost. Like that's it. You're lost. It's just the culture. So passive aggressive boundaries for women is one of the best way to go, because it keeps your femininity, it keeps you soft, and all you need to do is just step back. You could say gently like, oh, I didn't like that, or please don't talk to me like that. And if he continues to talk to you in the disrespectful way, you just step back. So as long as you know how to set in boundaries, as long as you can see the red flags, as long as you still know how to be a bit charming, how to have a laugh, how to connect, how to talk about things that you like or engage in a conversation, you're gonna stand out. You're gonna stand out because you're not easy, you respect yourself, you value yourself, you have manners, you can bond with people. You're gonna stand out. And these manipulators or pickup artists, when we can't have you and you stand out, that's when the obsession happens. Okay, let me look at your questions. I saw a lot of questions, and then I met a man. Let me have a sip. Ladies, post your questions. I'll have a look at all your questions. By the way, feel free, you can book me for coaching, for one-on-one coaching. The link is in my Instagram bio. I met the man last year, and after a date, he takes forever to respond. Almost don't respond. He appeared again this year, and we went out 2 days ago, and the same happened. Why he does that? Okay, so the most important, don't text him first after the date. Ladies, when you go on a date, say thank you on a date. After that, a guy texts you. Like what I would do then you learn self-control. You don't have to do this anymore. But when I started practicing high value first, which was like 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, what used to help me before was, so I wouldn't double text or wouldn't overreact. You know what I used to do before? Let's say if a guy texts me, I reply, and when it's his turn to text, and let's say if he's taking his time and I'm getting a bit annoyed, or something pops up in my head and I want to share it with him because something really fun just happened, but I know I can't double text because it's his turn and stuff. And this stuff, by the way, matters if you're dating in a secular world. What I used to do, I would delete a guy's number. I would reply to a guy, and when it's his turn to text me, I would just delete his number. And I don't recommend following guys on social media because it's just more annoying. Having a number is annoying enough. Following somebody on social media, it's like a lot of temptation to look, to check, to like, to watch, to give too much attention, which actually comes across as a pursuing. So what I would recommend, have a number, don't ask for social media, don't stalk, just keep it light. If you have a lot of self-control, if you can really control yourself where you're not gonna stalk or like or comment all the time, and you can really control yourself, great, good for you. You can be on your social media, everywhere else, doesn't matter, right? But if you feel like you're the one that has lacks self-control and is a bit overreactive, you're just practicing, just starting high value, just reply to the number, that's it. To the WhatsApp, that's it. And if you need more help, just delete his number, and when he's turn is to text, he'll text you and you'll get your message again, and then you reply, and that way is kind of like the easiest way to have self-control until you learn it, and you learn and improve as you go along. So with that lady, I went off the track. Where was she? She was saying after the date he disappears. If a guy disappears after the date completely, he's not that interested. He's not that into you. Or he's not looking for anything serious. He's probably dating around. A lot of men believe in dating around. A lot of men believe in, some men have a date every day with a different woman. Some men believe in that. So, don't look at dating too seriously. If you're dating in a secular world, secular meaning let's say outside of your religion, more like outside of your, let's say if you're a practicing Catholic, outside of church, or practicing Muslim, outside of your group. If you're dating outside of your group, I would say it's very secular. It's a lot of games. It's a very secular society. And keep it in mind that, when a lot of guys date multiple girls, or, so look at dating very lightly. So let's say if I'm going on a date, for me personally, it's nothing. If I'm flirting with a guy, it's nothing. For me, it's nothing. I look at it like it's nothing. It totally goes over my head, because I'm used to secular society where, let's say, because I dated in London, my life, my youth, my 20s were in London. So if, let's say, I would have taken flirting personally in London, I would have been crying every 5 minutes. If I would have been taking dating very seriously in London, I would have been crying every 5 minutes. If you want to protect yourself and not feel like you're being played, you need to look at dating and flirting in a secular society very, very lightly. For me, I got used to looking at it so lightly. Now I'm in a church. Now I go to church regularly. That even in a church, I look at it very lightly. I'm like, it's nothing, and what does it do to me? It protects me, because if it has meaning, a guy will let you know. He will let you know. He'll be like, Greta, I want to date you seriously. Greta, I want you to be my girlfriend. Greta, I want to marry you. You will know. So until this happens, you look at everything very lightly. Okay, you laugh, you giggle, you come back home, you forget about it. That's it. Okay. Forgot what it's like to talk for so long by myself. Okay. Sorry for my deep breaths. How to put boundaries to him, as he told me, I am in his thoughts and mind. Okay, you cannot control his thoughts and mind. You can only control your thoughts and your mind. We had few dates. As I realized, a woman should keep her options as men do the same. So when it comes to keeping your options opened, I would look at it more like this. So for me personally, I'm very fussy. So if I'm going on a date and it's an actual date, usually because I like a guy, right? He could be a potential of something, right? But I keep it very casually, but I still like him, right? So if I see that he is really into me and he is basically kind of making it known to me that he's not dating anyone else, that he's giving it a shot with me, like if he's making it known to me, he's texting me, he's calling me, is giving me attention, it's exclusive. If I can see this, then I would not be keeping my options opened. I would think like, okay, let's see what happens here. I'll keep it light. I'm not gonna take it too seriously, but let's see what happens here. If I'm going on a date and I see the guy is flirtatious and fun and he's like, and you don't know what's actually, you're enjoying the moment, but you don't really know what's happening in his head. You don't know who else he's going on a date with. One day he calls you, next day he doesn't. He's like fun and flirtatious, but you don't really know. Then I'm keeping my options open because I don't really know. So you kind of, because if, let's say, you're going on a date with a guy and it's a good guy, right? And you can see that he's quite, it's a good, decent guy, and you're keeping your options open, you could lose a guy. You could actually lose a guy if he finds out that, right? So it's better more like give it a shot. If you feel like it's a good, decent guy and he's like only dating you, close your options. Don't risk it. It's not many good guys out there. Don't risk it. If you feel like I'm like options opened, like your mirror, like kind of more or less mirror. Don't play don't play with guys, ladies. Don't. I know it's fun. I know it's fun, and sometimes we cheeky and naughty, and I definitely been there in my 20s, and I don't like that. I don't like your shirt, so like it's a no. I don't like the word you said, so it's like no, bye. I've done all of that, like rejecting like crazy. Like, no, don't do it anymore. Like, trust me, be a bit more wise than I was in my 20s. Because he messaged me once in 3 days or 4 days. Okay, then keep your options open. So don't say anything to him. Go on the dates, but keep your options open. Okay, another question. May I know your thoughts on a guy who flirts, is super touchy, is tempting, he's charming, and try to make girls interested, then pulls back and says, I'm not interested, and if you want to be with me, you must buy me expensive gifts. Oh, this is like a joke. This is, oh dear. I wonder, what would I say? I think I would laugh in his face and then would press the block button. That would be my thoughts about this guy. Like, literally laugh in his face. I would, like, you know the way I laughed here by reading your message? That's how I would laugh in his face. And then I would walk away and forget about this guy. Ladies, we are not here to fight for men and to fight for attention. You are a gift to a man from God. A guy needs to be worthy of you. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from God. You're a gift. A gift doesn't fight for a man. A gift doesn't look for a man. You don't go showing up in places hunting for guys. No, a guy is the guy who finds his wife. Chill. All you need to do, as I said it in one of my posts, discern, is he good enough for you? When you're dating, your goal is to discern, to see, is he good enough? Like, is he look the red flags, like, is he good enough? A lot of guys also, when we like you, they will put on an act. He might be a player, he might be a bad guy, and he might put on an act just because he really, really likes you. But you'll see through his act after a few weeks, after a month, very clearly. Like, nobody is such a good actor. Things slip out. Things don't make sense. It becomes illogical. So your goal is kind of like to discern that it's the right guy the right person. Have been in a relationship for past 3 years with an avoidant. 2 months back, after an argument, he stopped talking. Then on my birthday, wished me, but nothing more than that. What do you want with him? That's my question. What do you want with him? If you want him back, you cannot chase him. You need to let him come to you. To the birthday message, you can only say thank you and wait for him to get in touch with you again and pursue you if you want him back. The thing with guys that you set in a boundary and we run away, I would in UK it's like majority of men are like that. Secular guys are like that. You set in a boundary and we literally run away. Unless you set in a boundary in a very feminine way, meaning in a passive-aggressive way. Passive-aggressive way, how to set in a boundary is basically you go home when he disrespects you or without causing any drama, or you don't reply to his text if he's vulgar or disrespectful. So if you sit in I'll say passive-aggressive because that's what it is. It's a softer way to sit in a boundary. So if you sit in a boundary like that, then usually guys don't run away, or they give you a bit of space, but it's very little. If you sit in a boundary in a more like aggressive way, usually guys run away. And if you are actually getting involved into an argument, and in that argument you're saying a lot of mean stuff, a lot of mean words, then it's not great. Then it's really not great. Women should never be more interested in men. You know what? I believe in love. I believe in love. And if you are not that into the guy, you're not gonna be... he's not gonna be very happy with you. So it's more about loving each other, being into one another, but fulfilling each other's love needs the way that he wants it to be fulfilled and you want it to be fulfilled. So I believe that a woman should be into a guy. I believe that a woman should love a guy, but she should not pursue a man. She should not chase a man. She should not be saying, I love you first, and wearing her heart on a sleeve and doing all the crazy stuff. But she should love him and she should have feelings for him. When you behave in a high value way, just how I described, that's when a guy keeps pursuing you, investing into you, chasing you, etc., etc., etc. And because he gets a shot to do all of that, he falls in love with you as well. So you actually end up, when you behave high value, you end up being in love with each other. I think a woman not being into the guy that much, I don't think it's the best thing for a man, because women that are not into guys that much, they get a bit arrogant sometimes. They don't forgive that easily. They act quite entitled. A lot of times when they get married, a lot of times they punish a guy by not giving him sexual intimacy. And what happens is, like, these relationships, they fall apart, they don't work. So I believe a woman should love a guy, but she should know how to act in a way that he loves her too, Greta, if I want to see a man more often, but I'm seeing him only once in 2 weeks. I understand as a woman I should have my own life as well. If he, I would look at it like this. If he only wants to see you once in 2 weeks, he's not that into you. You know? If he would want to see you more, you want a guy that's into you, that wants to see you more than once in 2 weeks. However, sometimes this grows, this feeling grows. You know, sometimes this feeling grows. So let's say maybe in the beginning you're having dates like 1 date in 2 weeks, or like, you know, a bit here and there, you know, but sometimes this can grow, attraction can grow over time. Other times people just invest, you know, they're just ready for something serious, and they just invest once or twice a week, every week. But if a guy sees you only once in 2 weeks and it's just the beginning, keep your options open. Don't take it too seriously. But you can pressure to see him more. You can do that, because that's being too keen from your side, prioritizing him, and it's actually kind of chasing as well. So I don't recommend that. Any other questions, ladies? Ladies, on my lives I answer questions for free, but if you have more questions and you're gonna DM me, like, no, I don't do that. I don't answer free DMs. So if you want coaching, you can book me over my website. The link is in my Instagram bio. But on a live, feel free to ask me questions for free. Okay. Let me see what else we've got. As he had 4 dates and we have crazy connection, I said I want clarity. I don't want to lose my time and his time. Okay, so first of all, you should have not asked for clarity. Asking for clarity, that's putting pressure, and that's coming across as you're more interested in him. You're asking for clarity way too soon. Also, ladies, you don't actually need to even ask for clarity in a guy. He's giving you clarity by asking you out once in 2 weeks. That's clarity. By not telling you you are his girlfriend, that's clarity. You know, you don't need any more clarity. Observe his actions, and that's all the clarity you need. That's better clarity. Observing a guy's actions, that's a better clarity. That's more honest clarity than hearing it from his lips. Because when you hear things from his lips, he'll tell you whatever benefits him. Should we keep deadline for guys to propose? If I wait 3-4 months, should we move on? So many women waste precious years waiting infinitely. I don't know a guy who would propose after 3-4 months, unless you're like dating in a church, you know. If you're dating like in a church or something like religious like that, where people are just courting and dating for marriage, then yeah, fine, I get that. But if you're dating in a secular world, 3-4 months is very rare. It's like 1 out of 1,000. You know, if you're dating in a secular world, it's a year, 2 years. You're dealing with a lot, you know. So yeah. A guy develops feelings for a girl more like within a couple of months, 2-3 months. Hi Alana, how are you? A guy, like, if you're dating in a high value way, it takes about 2-3 months for a guy to develop feelings for you. A guy sees you as his wife if you're behaving in a high value way, meaning you don't pursue him, you don't lose emotional control, you're not arguing, there is no need to argue because everything just goes smooth. then he'll see you as a wife maybe in like 5-6 months. But if you're losing emotional control, if you're arguing, if you're screaming and shouting, if you're crying, if you're telling him you're so into him, if you're seeing each other all the time, he's not gonna say I love you in a couple months time. He'll probably keep his options open, and he'll tell you he's not feeling it after a few months. You know, so if you want the proposal soon, you have to nail at high value. That's good, Alana. That's good. I'm happy for you. How do we understand if a guy is a playboy really wants red flags? Actions. You're gonna invest time in dating that guy, and actions. You know, ladies, when you observe a red flags, like players, and like usually you spend few hours with the player, and like there is 3-4 red flags in bloody 2-3 hours that he gives. It's so easy to see. Hi, Kate. It's so easy. I'm sitting on my leg. It's so easy to see red flags. It's like, I don't think spotting red flags and knowing that the guy is a player is a problem. I don't think that's a problem. I think the biggest problem that women have is not spotting the red flags, is actually ignoring the red flags. Because you're hoping, but maybe you'll change. Oh, I saw 3 huge red flags today, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe next time he's not gonna have any, because he's so charming and he touched me in the right place. And he kissed me and I felt weak in my knees. And it felt so good. So maybe next time he's not gonna have any red flags. Nope. Next time he'll give you 5 red flags, but the kiss was so nice. And he whispers in my ear all the time, and he plays with my hair. So maybe by the date 10, all the red flags will disappear. You know? That's how it goes, right? So red flags is not, it's not that we are blind. We are not blind. We just choose to follow our feelings instead of the logic. That's women. Somebody said to me recently, she said, Greta, I have this friend. She's so smart. She's a lawyer, or she's a doctor, or she's a very wealthy and amazing businesswoman, and da-da-da. And with man, she is dating all the losers on earth. Why? Because she's not looking at these guys as, she's looking at her business. She's like, oh, but in love, I'll just follow my heart and get played instead. No, I don't watch Love is Blind. But from what I hear, usually high-value women get the guy. Yeah. So when men don't behave right and girls don't get the respect they deserve, even if we like the chemistry, we must simply forget about it. Amen. You got it. Chemistry is nothing. Chemistry will get you played, you're heartbroken, used, abused, stuck to the guy for years and years and years, waste your precious years, reject the good man, reject the husband materials left, right, and center for the chemistry with the guy that doesn't know what he wants. Chemistry, if it's only chemistry and a million of red flags, it will keep you single for years. And then, and then in the therapy office, after those years. That's what chemistry does. There are guys, I'm not telling you ladies to date guys that there is no chemistry with. I'm not telling you that, right? I'm telling you more to be fussy, be picky. Date guys you have chemistry with, and date men that are good men on top of that. And there are men like that. There are men that you have chemistry with, and they are good men as well. Not every good man is a bad looking guy. Not every good man is a, like, oh, he's a good man. No. Good man, you have chemistry with good men too. You have very good chemistry. You just, the reason we like the bad boys is because you can't read them. We like what we like as women. And I used to be in this place too. So, in my 20s, we like the bad boys as women when we are young because we can create a fantasy about them. Because we don't know. We are curious. We don't know what he's doing. He says one thing. He doesn't chase you like crazy. He plays this game. He touches you the right way. He tells you this. He tells you this. He tells you that. You don't have enough of information. You just get like highlights. Highlights of the dates, right? And for the rest, you create an absolute fantasy. So you get your mind goes in the most creative ways, and now you're on with your wedding dress, walking down the aisle, 5 kids. He loves you like crazy in your mind, in a fantasy, right? That's what players bring to the table. They bring the fantasy. Good guys, he doesn't bring that. Why? Because he's clear. He's honest and he's clear. And he gives you the reality. So there is not enough for your fantasy. As a woman, we need a bit of fantasy. Fantasy is, we like to romanticize things, right? Fantasy is, we romanticize things. With a good guy, you can't do that. He gives you too much clarity on everything. When everything is da 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 da, there's not enough of fantasy. You can't play with that. That's why we choose the players. Because we're stupid like that. And I'm talking about you girls. I'm talking about myself when I was in my 20s. True? Exactly. Thank you. I have always amazing fantasies. Yeah, me too. Me too. I sometimes take time to fantasize in a day. I love it. Give me I literally could sit on my couch if I have half an hour or something, be like, by myself, on my own, in my head, with a fantasy. And it's like, and then I have to check myself, okay, Greta, back into reality, out of this fantasy, How old are you? Exactly. Thank you, Sandra. Do I behave like am I talking like a teenager? Fantasy. We love the fantasy. So it's like you have to check yourself. You have to look at the reality. You have to look at the logic. And you have to date the logic. You have to date the action. How to forget about such players? It is so difficult. You know what is difficult? You know why it's difficult? It's difficult because you only saw the highlights of him. You didn't see the real deal. That's why it's difficult to get over them and to forget about them. If you would have seen what's behind the curtain, if you would have seen the real deal, and you would have seen the trauma, the cheating, the lies, the BS, the hot and cold, and if your mind would have went on that, focused on that, and ignored the fantasy, it would be easier to get over this. But if you just seen some highlights and you created fantasy yourself, it's harder because you put him on a pedestal. Saying this, a lot of women we see through the red flags, we see through hot and cold, we see that the guy is walking BS and we still hooked on him. Now, if you're still hooked on a guy that is kind of like a walking BS, usually there are two reasons. So one reason is because majority of women get really attached through sexual intimacy. And if you feel, a lot of women, we feel like, I gave myself to a guy, and for many women, it's a very big deal. So we get really attached to that, and when we find it hard to let go of these guys. I remember when I was in my 20s, my mindset was, I grew up with the mindset that if you give yourself to a guy, that's it. No matter what, you're with him. That was my mindset. This was the mindset I was raised with in my culture. So can you imagine what this mindset does? It's basically like when a guy feels that no matter what, you're gonna stick with him, and you're actually dating not a good man, but you're dating a guy that's a player, that's a pickup artist, whatever. You're dating in a world that's like a lot of players. What did we do? We abuse you. That's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get abused. So it's really on the mindset. Sorry, I lost my track of thought. So you have to be very, very careful. Yeah, I lost my track of thought. But yeah, that's how I used to think. And until I changed my mindset. Until I changed my mindset, and until I started to see that the guys I'm dating, we are not good men. And it took me time to see that, because I didn't know about manipulation. I didn't know about games in my 20s. I had no idea about that. I thought, I was giving men excuses. I was like, oh, maybe he didn't do this because of that, maybe this because of that. Because I grew up with very good men. Men that surrounded me, they were very, very good men. So I didn't see the manipulation. To manipulate a woman in my culture is nothing worse that you can do as a man. Like, in my culture, if a guy manipulates, I'll be like, to my cousin, will be like, go tell him who's the boss. Like, what is this? You playing with my heart? I'm a woman. I should be cherished. So that was my culture. So when I came to London, that's what I expected. I expected everybody's going to treat me nice. Oh, it's London. It's Western. It's advanced. Everyone's going to be even nicer than in my culture. That was what I was thinking. And, so I didn't see I got played. And when you learn the stuff, you learn how to protect you learn the red flags, you learn the games, and that's how you bloody learn to maneuver in this culture, in this new culture, and that's how you become high value, and you're not abused and none of that. Saying this, ladies, if you are dating a good man, a man who is, let's say, a practicing Christian, or, a practicing godly man who wants to do the right thing, it's easier. It's much easier. You don't need to be perfect. We don't expect you to be perfect. That's the difference, actually. Men that are practicing Christians, we don't expect women to be perfect. We know that you're imperfect, and we kind of accept you and protect you and guide you and lead you. And we look at it like, I know you're imperfect, but I love you and we're going to be together forever. Whereas men that are more in a secular world, that are non-practicing, they kind of look for perfection. And women as well. A lot of women that are in a secular society, we look for perfection in a man. And a lot of women, this is why there's so many divorces. Like you're a couple of years later, a woman gets divorced. Why? Because she expected the marriage to be perfect, a fairy tale thing. Marriage is not a fairy tale thing. Marriage is like a lot of forgiveness for two people that were raised in different ways with different minds. It's hard work and a lot of forgiveness. Players are perfect in games. Manipulation. Be careful about such manipulation. Yes, but you know what? There is for every poison, there is, I'll share it, yeah. For every poison, there is a cure. Not a cure, but you know, it's called the other word. I forgot what's the other word. So for every poison, there is, yeah, there's another one. And if you behave high value, I promise you, no one will play you. No one will play you, because if you look at the guy's actions and you see through his games, and if you know the games, and if you don't close your, thank you, antidote, yes. And if you don't close your eyes on red flags and on the games, no one will play you. If you will close your eyes and if you'll keep giving him excuses and you're not gonna follow your logic, but you're gonna follow your feelings and your fantasy, then yes, you're gonna get played left, right, and center, and then you're gonna be like sitting in a therapy office. You know, at least make them pay for your therapist, because otherwise it's bloody expensive. It makes more sense to get a dating coach, learn the stuff, so you don't have to then after waste your years in a therapy office. You can actually have your happily ever after, rather than ignore the dating coach, ignore all the courses that I do, fail in your relationship, let him treat you bad, let him walk all over you, let him take you for granted, let him break up with you, and then pay the therapist for all the trauma and sit in the office for minimum few years. Learn the stuff, ladies. Invest in yourself. Learn the stuff. Once you learn that, nobody can play you. You know what to do. You know how to behave, what to say, what not to say, how to set in boundaries in a healthy way. You start to read the guy. He becomes, you know, when you learn the dating advice, when you learn that, the guy is an open book. The bad boy is an open book. The bad boys are open books. It's hilarious. The good guys actually become more mysterious than the bad guys, because the bad boys play the same game over and over and over again, because all the bad boys, all the players learn the games from the books, from this, from that, right? They learn it from there. It's not like they made up the stuff. No, we learned it. Same as we learning how to be high value. Same guys, bad boys learned the game, right? So once you learn through the game, he's an open book. And all you see is BS. BS on legs. You know? Like, what's to be attracted to? There's nothing to be attracted to. Whereas a good guy now suddenly becomes very interesting. He's like, oh, he did this for me. Oh, he did this for me. Oh, he did this for me. You know? Like, when you learn the games, when you understand, you see right through the players, they become disgusting. They become creepy and disgusting and sad and not attractive at all. Like, at all. They're not attractive at all. They're creepy and sad and disgusting. When you don't see the games, when your fantasy isn't work, that's when they're bloody attractive. So learn the games, book the coach, get my courses. I have High-Value Women course for sale. I have games video for sale. I have many courses for sale. All the links are in my Instagram bio. Get my courses, learn the games. Promise you, you're not going to be interested in players. You're going to be like, what's that? Oh, my ex was so disgusting. I can't even think about him. I better control my thoughts and watch something positive, because Instead of like, oh, I miss my ex. Oh, and he touched me. You know, you want to get over your ex, learn the games, and you'll see right through the creepy things we did, and you're gonna fall out of love. Why even we learn to be bad boys? I'm wondering. Hurt? We got hurt. A lot of bad boys were good guys when we were young, and a girl got a bit too entitled, took him for granted, maybe hurt him. You know, this is kind of, sometimes it's our fault, you know. Sometimes we like, oh, you know, I'm not interested. We mislead a guy, we hurt him, and, you know, and then he's angry. I'm Lithuanian, but I lived in UK longer than in Lithuania, so yeah. You know, and when we get hurt, and when we start to play the games, it's kind of in a way like out of a revenge. Also, there's a lot of coaches online for men that teach men how to play games, telling them that this is what women want, this is what women desire. And unfortunately, in many cases, it's true. A lot of women, unfortunately, especially in Western countries, a lot of women, unfortunately, are more attracted to game players than to good men. Because game players is still a fantasy, hot and cold. It's a bit lighter, they're a bit more charming. They know it's a lot of women in Western society are more attracted to players than to good men. So the game works. Smart women are attracted to good men, and smart women get married to good men in their 20s. Silly women like me and probably a lot of you, silly in our 20s, we prefer the charming, fantasy, this is fun. Oh, he's such a good man, he's too serious for me. And when you live and learn that you rejected too many of good men, it's not many out there anymore. Oh yes, we teach us how to take 3 different girls home. Yep, exactly. What if he is broke, but the sex was so good? Obsessed over, exactly. So you're now describing who? A pickup artist, a game player, and fantasize. He is not playing any games, but have no future plans. Am I supposed to do? So, okay, so is he a quality man? So basically what you described, right, is a guy that is giving you, that you have chemistry with, and the rest, all you do, you just fantasize. So you're creating an image. You probably create an image in your head like, oh, one day he'll get a job, and maybe one day he'll become an entrepreneur. Maybe one day he'll become a businessman and become a millionaire, and he'll buy me a nice big house and provide for me. And our fantasies can go pretty wild. Out of this broke man that has no future, only gives you good intimacy, right? This is what I mean, ladies. So when I was younger, I had a standard for dating, and it stayed with me through my whole life. So my standard was, number 1, a guy needs to be tall, because I'm very tall. Guy needs to be tall. If I was short, ladies, I would go for short guys. I would have no problem with that whatsoever. It's just because I'm tall. I'm very tall. I'm 6'3". So a guy needs to be tall. If I was bloody 5'5", I would date 5'5". Literally no problem. Anyway, so my standard was he needs to be tall. The other one, he needs to have a degree, or he needs to have passion or ambition. He basically needs to be smart. he needs to be wise. And number 3 was we must have things in common, things that we bond with. So I'm an athlete. I used to play basketball, so I would like look at guys that were athletes. So a football player, a basketball player, a rugby player, I liked that in common. So these were my standards for a guy. So these were the guys I dated. You know, they were like a number basketball player, you know, like these were my standards. So if I wouldn't go on a date, or if I go on a date with a guy that doesn't have these standards, I would not take the date seriously. You know, I just would not. That was it. You know? So the thing is, even now, right now I'm a bit different. Now he doesn't have to be an athlete. Now the standards dropped a bit. Now he doesn't have to be an athlete, but he still needs to be smart and wise. And it's more about the action, and it's more about the good heart and him doing the right thing and being a good person rather than the other stuff, right? So what I do, I don't go on a date if the guy doesn't tick these boxes. Or if I'm going on a date with a guy like that, I completely don't take it seriously. And it's more like for my own, a bit of attention rather than anything else. But you have to be careful with that. You know, so you it's better not to date these type of guys at all. So you have a standard and only date that standard. That's it. So that way, if you're in love or something, at least you know that he ticks your boxes. And it's not like, oh, Greta, but he's broke and he's sleeping on my couch, but the chemistry is great. Have your standards first. Make sure your standard ticks the boxes, and then we can work through your mistakes. Meaning like you're maybe chasing or pursuing, or you're in love or whatever else, and he's not that interested. Because to make a guy fall in love with you is much easier than to make him be smart. You know, to make a guy fall in love with you is like, all you have to do is change your behavior here and there and start to behave mature. Don't chase, don't pursue, right? Just become mature, basically. And then if he's got everything else, that's fantastic. Now, if your guy is completely broke, if he's an idiot, if he's not smart, if he doesn't care about goals or dreams or whatever else, you know, and he doesn't love you and you're crazy about him, now we have a problem, because we can make him fall in love with you, but he's still not getting the job. Like, you know, there's still a problem, you know, because you can't push him to get a job. You can inspire him, but you don't know. It's kind of like, for example, now I am a practicing Christian, right? I'm a Catholic, actually. I became a Catholic 5 years ago, so in my 20s I was secular. I was dating secularly. That's why I have all of this advice for you from my secular days, and having secular clients, of course. But since I became a Catholic, I'm like, you know, I'm practicing. So for example, let's say if I am dating a guy that's not a Catholic, right? If I'm dating him, yeah, I know how to behave. Yeah, I know how to get a guy to like me, or to, you know, I can play the game, I can see through him and whatever, right? I know how to get him to fall in love, you know, same as men can charm you and make you fall in love, same women can do the same thing. So let's say I know how to do that, but I cannot make him to become a Catholic, right? I cannot make him follow God. I can pray for him, but I cannot make him to do that. Yes, he might want to do that because once a guy is in love with me, he might be more interested in my faith and he might try to please me a bit more. But still, it's not guaranteed, you know? So then, if it's not guaranteed, then it doesn't make sense for me to date that. It's more like I'll better stick in my circle, and so it's same for you ladies. If you're, let's say, a business owner, right, and you're like dating the guys, and the guy doesn't have big goals or whatever else, right, and you're like, I can help you, so he falls in love with you, but will he become successful business-wise? We don't know. We have no idea, because he needs to do that from his own free will, and it's a risk. It's too much of a risk. This is why it's like, when you're dating somebody, please first make sure that he ticks your boxes, and then we'll work about love. You just behave high value, da-da-da. It's not that difficult, But if the boxes don't tick and you're dating just anyone, that's a lot of things to work with. Guys that approach me are all younger than me. Do you think I can work? You know what? It's a bit of a trend, isn't it? It's a bit of a trend. Younger guys, older women. To be honest, why not? I never thought I'll say that, but you know what, ladies? Why not? I have a client. She is in Africa, where Zanzibar? Yeah, Zanzibar. Very successful. She's 42, very successful. She's got multiple properties, very successful job, looks beautiful, a bit of buttocks, looks beautiful. She's getting married. A guy is 12 years younger, really good looking, very fit, very successful, pays for everything, practicing Christian. Why he picked her? He picked her because she's mature, she's high value, she's got a brain in her head, she's not overreacting, she's not throwing tantrums. He's like, why not? That's it. So, I have another client, USA. The guy is 10 years younger. She's 42 as well, so he's 32. Now he's 32. We've been together now 3-4 years. He adores her. So, guys in their 30s go for girls that are older, much older a lot of times, because women behave more mature. Guys appreciate maturity. The tantrums, losing of emotional control, that I don't know what I want, all of this. We don't appreciate that. Men like logic. Women that are mature, we are much more logical. And that's why these guys choose these women. If you are married to a mama's boy, be not mama's boy, because I'm not telling for women to choose a man that doesn't provide for them. He's still providing, so it's not mama's boy. Oh, sorry, you're talking about something else. If you're married to a mama's boy, how can you create strong relationship with the husband and create a gap between them? You know what? I would recommend, if you're married to a mama's boy, I would recommend for you to look at things differently. I would actually allow I don't want to, by the way, get married to this type of guy, nor do I recommend. But if I would be married to a guy that's a mama's boy or anything like that, I would first of all accept that his relationship with his mom, meaning that If he adores his mom so much and he needs a lot of time with her, I would allow him to have all that time and I would give him extra. Because once he has all his time with his mom, once his cup is full with his mom, that's when he's gonna have quality time with you. If you're gonna keep him away from his mom, you're not gonna have quality time with him. You're gonna be fighting, arguing. He's gonna be giving you breadcrumbs, and he's gonna be angry with you. However, in Christianity, a man, ideally, I would recommend you to get married to a guy that, sees, like in Christianity, God is first. When it's a man and a woman, when it's with children, when it's with parents. So this is the order. However, not everyone is Christian and not everyone believes in this order. And that's why we have a problem. Because I've seen a lot of videos also on Instagram, right, where guys are saying like, oh, I'm putting my mom first because I can divorce my wife, or because my wife can divorce me, or I am putting children first because the wife can divorce me, or a woman is saying I'm putting children first because the husband can divorce me. No, this is not the Christian order. The Christian order, you're putting your husband first, you're putting your wife first, above your parents, above your children. Husband and wife is first. The love between each other is first. Not yourself. In Christian order, you don't put yourself first. You love thy neighbors, you love yourself. You don't put yourself first, you put God first in Christian order. When it's you and your husband, and when it's your children, and when it's the parents. If you're going to be putting yourself first and the guy second, you're going to start to behave entitled. When you behave entitled, long term it doesn't work out. So it has to be balance. Trying to figure out the balance, it's much harder than being selfish and putting yourself first blindly. A lot of times guys in the beginning fall in love with women that are selfish because they go like, oh, she's a bit like a princess, she's a bit like this, she's a bit like that. However, long term, these relationships don't work out because the guy starts to feel for granted. And a woman behaves too entitled. And then things don't work out. So you have to make sure that you're getting the balance right. A lot of coaches tell you to be selfish. Be very careful with this advice. And actually, I was one of these coaches before I became a Christian. Like 8 years ago, I was also saying to women, put yourself first, put yourself first, put yourself first. That's not right. That was bad advice. You become too entitled and too selfish when you behave like that. It's more about a balance. When it's the balance, all you need to do is have a balance, have self-respect, have boundaries. Make sure that he's not walking all over you. Make sure that he's not chasing you, that you're not chasing him. Make sure you control your emotions. Be kind, be sweet, Guys, remember, ladies that are sweet and kind, we love kindness. We love modesty. We love softness. When you're putting yourself first, you're not kind, you're not sweet, you're not soft. You're just me, So, okay, ladies. So I'll leave you with that. I really enjoyed this live. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you want some one-on-one coaching, feel free to book me. The link is in my Instagram bio. I have courses for sale, such as High-Value Women course. I have games video for sale. You can join my school. My school is first 7 days are completely free. You can post your questions, like the way you're posting your questions on a live here. You can post it in my school and me and my coaches will answer all your questions. It's confidential, it's private, and 7 days are completely free. After that, if you want to stay, I think it's only like $35 or $30, something like that. So feel free to try it. The link is in my Instagram bio. Thank you all for watching. Have a blessed day. Lots of love. Bye, ladies.